Okay, here we go. We're gonna be trying the Forgotten City. So this will be a little bit slower paced than normal, so we will see.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Select body type. Okay, so what? The difference is man with long nose or man with a Roman nose. I guess we go with the elongated nose, because that's me. I am white.
Dot.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river?
This is a good
What's the
question.
last thing you remember?
I was on a convert mission. I was on the run from law. Barely remember anything.
It does look like you took a pretty hard blow to the head. You're just lucky you've been given a second chance. Which is why I feel terrible for what I'm about to say, but I have a favor to ask. There are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out.
Al.
I've been freaking out,
Names the
wondering
kid
if
Al.
he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Okay, so we gotta rescue Al.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you want to know?
What's your story? Okay,
there's
let's start
not
there.
much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
Really like to know, especially if we're gonna help you. Why did you want to tell me? Never mind. Yeah.
Alright, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. You're welcome. Always
We have a
happy to help.
Karen.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Who is Al? Yeah.
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did.
So he came in
I
before.
thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. You really
Where
don't
are we?
remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
Okay, so we're in Italy.
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al... What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul.
Why hasn't she
Trust me.
gone looking for this Al?
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
Not much of a choice. I'm going in for the priceless artifact, so I'll keep an eye out for him.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll
The
try and find
entrance
him.
is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Okay, what did he leave? Flashlight. Okay, we take. Oh, we can move. Sleeping bag. It's warm not long ago, smells of campfire smoke and sweat. Fire bun? No. That is fish. Photo, inspect. Old wooden boat must have used rescued from the river. Ooh. Okay, let's go take a look. Ah, flashlight. Okay, we're going into the ruins. Okay, sprinting is an ability, which is cool. In what circumstance?
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long.
What? Okay, I have fallen. Okay, I didn't get to read the inscription, unfortunately.
All knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Al Worth.
The young Roman woman in a pose of lamentation. Lament. I don't like the whispers. I love the architecture of like ancient Rome though. A Roman gladiator mid-stride. What could have made a gladiator flee? That is a very good question. Cool. Big load there. It's like someone speaking parcel tongue to me. Ancient city. F5 quick save. Roman military commander attempting to scrabble away from something. Okay. Legionary state of terror. This man is also in shock. Roman woman appears to be praying for help, but it never came. Also scary. Follow Al's trail. What's that?
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse.
Oh? Oh.
But you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options.
That's brutal.
Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make
This
the same
is
mistake.
Al, I'm assuming.
Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Golden statue and old man wearing modern clothes. This must be Al. Huh. Young woman, state of panic. Did I not go over? No. This one? Roman on his knees, as if begging the gods for mercy. Remains of a human. Whoever it was died a long time ago. Okay, we don't know who that is. A lighter. Must be what Al used to light all these torches. Can't pick it up though. That is an actual physical portal. Oh, here we go. Roman relief depicting a great circular portal and two women. I wonder who they could be. Apple. Can't touch. Banana. Figure out how to return to your original time. We are in Rome.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm Ron, and I got lost. Shrine of Proserpina. Where do you speak English? Yes, I'm from the future.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. But
Thank
listen,
you.
most folks seem
Hilarious.
a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Sure.
Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing.
23.
No idea how, since
20.
nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your pretty new friend, Galerius?
20 people in total.
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking her to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were
Pretty.
you. She's, it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh.
He is a farmer.
That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Terrifying.
Don't mind Livia. She means well.
A local
She's just
priest?
been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the Forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember,
No,
you're not
losing my guide.
Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy.
Ooh, he's pissed him.
Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
Alright, lead the way.
The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9.
Jesus.
Doesn't
This
matter whether
place
they've
has
done
become a
anything wrong.
thoroughfare.
One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
Yeah, let's go visit the magistrate.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
Yes, I am Ron.
A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago.
It is beautiful.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
Definitely
Nor
not.
could I, until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it
Golden Rule.
Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured.
We
I
gotta
know that's
find
a
the
lot
one
to take
guy.
in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
That's a lot of questions. What counts as a
An
sin?
intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
That does make sense.
The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
What do you mean when you said Persephone said?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please
very.
tell me, in your time, what did you see?
Well, shit.
What had become of us? Of this city?
All gold.
I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
How does the ritual
All I
work?
can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual.
So does he kill
don't
himself?
Suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
It's a human remains.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
So this was him, okay. Sentius.
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election.
Ah, so they are having
The
an
people
election
here
for
would
him.
only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
So if there's 23 people, he seems like he's going to kill himself, or that he's destined to do that, which means it's not him.
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
How do I know you're not the person responsible?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you, I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second chance. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
Because you're a politician.
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen. Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of
Ah,
office
here we
so
go.
that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you.
Why can't we understand each other?
You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? How strange. But the gods are active here, and their temples and shrines hum with power like nowhere else in the Empire. Perhaps when Proserpina brought you here, she planted the seed of Latin in your mind so that you could better serve her.
It would be really hard if we couldn't speak Latin.
Indeed.
If I do this, will you help me get back to my own time?
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain.
This is actually
If
good
you
to know.
manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here.
That doesn't
Thus,
solve.
you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
That's not how. Yay, they've solved a paradox. I don't know how that works, but alright. That is all the questions I had.
So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
Also, hello, Alex. How you doing? Alright, I'm in.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave.
Ah, so we can do whatever we
Figure out
like.
who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright, I'll get
And
started.
one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago.
Wailing?
Seems like something's not right.
I'll get right to that. Do I have quest tracking? Ah, so we do have quests. Main goal, point origin. Create a time paradox. Golden rule. Figure out who's most likely to break the golden rule. Leads. Dying light. Find out what's distressing Lucretia. Needed. Okay. Inventory. We have denarius, coin, flashlight, and a stone tablet. Huh. We're allowed to inspect anything? Old household shrine, ancient Romans, something. Hold on. Ancient Romans offer daily prayers for protection. Scintilla to Sentius. May Jupiter Maxima continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter and for the lovely birthday present. Promise we'll wear it always. I also say I'm fortunate to have you as my father and Cinna as my sister. Since you've been feeling apprehensive about the election for months, but if you can just show them the strong independent man, I know you'll be elected, I'm sure of it. There's more? No, there's not more. Okay. So, this guy has a daughter. 2, if I'm not wrong. But, oh, I can jump. What else is up here? Scrolls, tablets. Oh shit, I can actually just straight up, like, jump over the edges. I thought that wouldn't be possible.
Oh, don't mind me. I just live here.
Who are you?
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate.
That's the daughter.
But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
Not from around here.
I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs.
She's a
Now,
bitch.
remind me, why are we having this conversation?
Got no way out of here? What do you think about the golden rule?
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the Harpies?
When did you last see her? Okay.
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love.
In love
We
with
went
who?
into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
So her room might have like an escape door.
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
Didn't mention any of this.
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock.
Rip.
He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her, so he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Is it possible her lover is involved?
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience.
That's very true.
All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Oh, so he is in the city. Sentius Scintilla. Why are your names also similar?
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market.
That's really strange.
His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Centilla.
This is
Why?
true.
Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
Just
If you
an
must
observation.
know, I'm here because my father has forbidden me from leaving the villa. I couldn't bear to lose you too, he says, as if he loves me, and not because he needs at least one daughter he can trade off.
Shame.
So you'll help me find her?
Sure.
Thank you. You should
Heard what
probably
happened.
take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed. Thank you.
Okay, so we need to look. Okay, they at least do point out where her room is. Okay. Chest. There's money.
The many shall
Okay.
suffer for the
That's not good.
sins
Apparently,
of the
me
one.
committing sins is apparently bad. Follow the Sentius back to the shrine. Okay, so I made a mistake. All I know is Sentius can run fast, apparently. Right, I messed up. Rip. Being sent back to the present, I guess. Okay, so no stealing. Wait, what? Okay, so not back to the present.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius. You're about to offer to make me see Cynthia so you can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem.
And since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
A device? Zipline handlebar. I'll take that.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And
Awesome.
if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. All right, see you around.
Well, that's useful. I have a zipline now. How do I get on the zipline? Oh shit. Someone reaching for an apple turned to gold. Okay, so let's go re-explore the room, I guess? Do I still have my quests? Run. Follow Sentius to the shrine and use the portal again. Did Golden Rule figure out who's most likely to break the rule? Yeah, point of origin. Dying gasp. Let's put that one on again. No, it's not. This one, sorry. Vanishing Act. Go back to trying to figure out who stole the... where the daughter went.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
That's Horatius. Okay, back to the room. So, me taking that was what caused the badge to happen. Frost container, false powder. Nothing interesting or value there. Brass mirror. Yeah, used for applying makeup. Yes, yes. Vial. Perfume. Same vial. Okay, so you can't grab the second one. Ink jar. It has to be made from soot and water. Obviously a quill. Notes. Scintilla to Sentius and Cinia may Clementia give you the strength to forgive me. Sorry I have to leave you this way, but I have found a way to escape, and I must take it. She found a way to escape. So there is a way out somewhere, somehow. This is the sister's room, I'm assuming. She has money, which we cannot take.
My room. Leave before I call Horatius.
Is that to check something? Hey Dari, today my father suggested I arrived Dari's way of keeping myself occupied while we deal with the sudden disappearance of sister. She'll oblige. Following pages contain innermost secrets. Wow. He's really gonna write it all out. I know you're reading this, father. I may be young, but not stupid. We're entitled to our secrets. Okay. Good. Cosmetic jars, nothing of value or interest there. Mirrors, no. Files, a bust. Why would she have a statue of the god of war in her room? There is a sneak mechanic. Those are their two rooms. What's this third room then? Pantry. What's that? Shovel. No doubt unpleasant cooking with such poor ventilation, but Romans probably regarded as their servant's problem. Produce bowl. That's also terrifying.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it. Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? Oh, you heard about her disappearance, I take it.
That we did. Found a letter in a room which mentioned her plan to escape.
What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom.
It was
and
literally
never
on the
seen it.
drawer.
I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but well done, I
How
suppose.
could you have missed it, actually?
But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Sentilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should
Okay.
go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
So we're now going to look for Lulia, or however you pronounce it. It's also looking around and exploring the general, village.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Have we spoken with this guy properly?
What is it, citizen?
What's your story?
I'm a legionary of the First Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
How did you end
I'm
up
from
here?
Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitive tried to take advantage of the
what?
chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing.
So he ended
Blacked
up in the
out
river.
and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But, I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
That's strange. That's kind of how we ended up, where we were in a way.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labour does the body. That said, Sentilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit. He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
You know way
I
out.
went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested. I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
A citizen register. Okay, so this will give us a list of all the people in the town. View. So we have Aurelia, commoner, tavern keeper. Islam claims to know a way out. Weird note. Claudia, patrician wife of malicious Villa Central. Commoner merchant notes. Wait. So this... Are these my notes? Mordecai Slum imprisoned. Georges died in Cistern. Hannibal. What? Disappeared. Julia Livia Lucretia. Rupius Sentia, restricted to a villa for safety. Yeah, so these are the two we know. Senius, duty magistrate, yeah, we know him. Villa middle notes, okay.
Of course.
What do you think of the Gold Room?
As I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like hundred-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course.
It is very brutal.
But effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it. What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and
shame.
Those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. War crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent. Seems that way. War crimes. Ridiculous. If you like.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Not that it's any of your business. But my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make.
There's only 20 people. Your vote counts for like 5%.
Shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies.
Malleolus is the opposing politician, then.
The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change. I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between.
I'm curious as to how time works in this dimension.
In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
Democracy in action. Figure out how to make Malleolus drop out of the election.
What business is that of yours? A lot of people have been looking for her. But it's been 3 weeks, and we've found nothing. What makes you think you can do better?
Fresh eyes do help.
I suppose that's true.
I know what you did to her. Jesus Christ.
Scintilla was always a kind, well-behaved young woman. I admit.
We're gonna go with the what's the word for it? A nice guy approach this time around.
I'd expect it to be Sentia, Malleolus, Claudia, or Domitius. But none of them will tell me anything.
All people I've never
Might
met.
be better though, I suppose.
I don't want to try that. I don't think this guy doesn't seem like he's an evil dude.
Please keep an eye out for anything that might lead us to Scintilla.
I will take a look. Who are you?
Hey Horatius, how's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today?
If you're trying to goad me into an argument, it won't work. I'm a stoic, remember?
If the old man couldn't even keep his own daughter safe, how can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do with Scintilla's disappearance?
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
If I find out you did something to that poor sweet girl, not even the Golden Rule is gonna protect you. Got it?
Ha! As if I'll be afraid of you, little man.
Them's fighting words. Who are you?
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day. The name's Domitius.
This is
You want
Domitius.
to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why.
Good to know. This is also
You
true.
want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunners.
What did he call me? What does that mean?
Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it.
Afford what?
I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return.
10 denarii. Do we have 10 denarii? I don't remember if I ever did actually collect cash. Good account. Isn't soliciting bribes a sin?
Bribe? That's such an ugly
Good
word.
question.
What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron.
Okay, so let's see. Forget about it. Alright, what do you want?
Dunno. Something good.
Okay.
Hey, Caput Murday. Futuere es.
Don't know what that
Just
means.
Make it good.
What?
Hey, Caput Murday. Futuere es. Just make it good.
Okay, so we don't actually have 10 denarii as far as I'm aware then.
Just make it good.
You know we're out of here.
When Malleolus wins the election, yeah? This place will change. You won't even want to leave. You'll see.
What do you think?
It's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
That sounds terrible.
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see. We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
I mean, this is an obvious one.
Malleolus, of course.
Yeah.
If old man Sentius can't even protect his own daughter,
This makes me think he
how
doesn't
can we
know
trust
either.
him to protect us?
Need to speak with Lulia.
She's not here.
Where is Lulia?
Had to carry her to Lucretia's clinic this morning. Shrine of Apollo. She was acting sick. Faking it, if you ask me. Typical. Listen, I don't abduct women. They come to me. And they keep coming back. If you know what I mean.
I misspelled that terribly. Hold on. There we go.
Dot.
Just feel like giving everyone a little bit of extra. I think you're hiding something. Yes, subtle, but I think I know what you mean.
You don't know Sturkis.
I don't know what Sturkis means.
Yeah? What have you got for me?
What do I have as a tribute? I don't have
If
anything.
you set one foot in that villa without permission, I'll skin you alive, you Pusilla Semitarius Mocus.
What does that mean? He's just saying things at me. If I step into the villa, will he just try and kill me?
Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Yes, why?
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body. Sprawled out on the
Nicely done, you're a player on winning.
and hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw
What
a
did you see?
creature.
Okay.
Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal.
That is horrifying. So Hannibal's dead.
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
I absolutely
Without
down
a
there.
weapon? Well, it's your funeral.
Yeah, we're gonna go down and take a look. Oh, there is a thing. So we're not going that way anymore. Yes, there is actually a thing in there. Ink jar, kind of worthless. This is a pretty room. Just trying to find out if there's any notes. I can hear you. Whose room is this? Octavia's chest. Note. Oh. Directions to a secret shrine. An ominous friend to Octavia. May the Lord bless you. I'm sorry I could not risk discussing this with you in person. If I'm right, then you're brave like me. You may not be able to worship openly here. You know that you're not alone. If you ever feel like you need somewhere to pray, there is a special place waiting for you deep in the caves behind the theater. Turn right at the first walk and again at the second. Okay, so secret shrine time. Another stove. Seemingly nothing interesting here. Coin we can't steal because that'll obviously trigger bad things. Bust. Sculpture of Minerva. So he's doing push-ups. We can't go down that way because there's something scary.
Oh
That's
my!
some
I've
lamp.
never seen a lamp like that.
Who are you?
Praise Apollo.
Oh.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
I'm in a hurry.
Oh, a hurry, you say? Well, in that case, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
I'm glad they're so willing to help me. How did you end up here?
No, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
Portals. Karen dragged me out of a river, unconscious.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
An older name, but not uncommon.
Older. I see. I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's
Could that be the
just got
sister?
me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
I felt like they were all thrown through a river.
Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I to Livia happen to you, too?
What happened to Olivia? Yeah.
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare.
Bloodless
Called us
shadows.
Bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern.
Is this the lady by the
It
campfire?
could be unrelated. Perhaps
No.
she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the Golden Rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
I'll be careful.
Now, go and follow the thread of truth through
Identify
this
at least
labyrinth
3 common
and come
threads.
back to me if you discover any patterns.
I'll get right
Come
on
back
that.
to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Yeah, we're kind of arguing around right now. Horatius, we've seen. He moved away from that position to now here.
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
It's up
As
this
always,
way.
priestess.
Any news about Centilla, Flavia, or Kabosh?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid. But we do have a newcomer.
What's to say? Garum from a fresh sauce.
Pretty though.
Why would someone have a fermented fish sauce in a bottle?
Seems that way.
Thing is, I don't actually know how long I have before shit hits the fan in this kind of world. I mean, the fact that there are statues kind of implies that people were here before whatever is going to happen takes place. Old chest. Oh, I can take money. Okay, so now I know where I can acquire currency. It's a statue. So sometimes I feel like the statues are moving. Zipline back down. What is this place? Who are these people?
Temple imposing. Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
I'm fine, actually.
Another stoic, perhaps. We all need something to help us through times like these. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? What is the Golden Rule, and who or what is responsible for it? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
You're a Christian, huh? What's your story?
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
How did you end up here? Yeah.
Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome, 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone.
Yeah, so the rivers.
I woke up by the river.
Clearly the
near
rivers.
that shrine, and stumbled across this place. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me. If you
Talk
like.
about something else? Let's see. Do you know way out of
Afraid
here?
not. Although I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's cavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate. I hope
Okay,
it
I
works
will
out.
look into it. What do you think of the golden rule?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth. And that
Brutal?
all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
I immediately stole something when I first got here, so I think it's very true. Hey, no worries, Alex. Just reading your message now. Yeah, no worries at all. It was really nice having you around, though. Sorry that we didn't really get to talk too much. And yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you apparently had a really bad experience on VR chat. I know that, what's the word for it? Online experiences can be pretty brutal and unforgiving, so as you get older, you'll hopefully learn to just ignore them. Like, I know a lot of the words can be quite cutting from other people, but yeah, don't take anyone's words too seriously, especially over the internet or with people who don't know you. I think someone once told me, if you would never go to advice for someone, then you should never take criticism from them as well. So, if you wouldn't allow that to be a thing, then yeah, don't let it get to you, dude. I think so. People find them really good.
If that's true, then sooner or later, things are going to end badly for all of us down here. Unless, of course, there's some kind of divine intervention. I wish I shared your
It will
faith.
be. Yeah, no worries at all, dude. You know where to find me. I'll still be here for the next 2 hours.
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Executions are horrible. Secret is safe.
Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that.
I'll be
Alright,
going.
well, it was lovely to meet you.
She seems
I
really
look forward to getting
straightforward.
to know you
Nothing wrong
better
with her.
over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
Oh no.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please.
Is suicide
please
a sin?
think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Do you really think his suicide would break the golden rule? Good luck with that. I'm out of here. I'll talk to him.
Thank you. And please,
Yeah, let's see if we can
choose
figure
your
this
words
out.
carefully.
Oh yeah, my words is gonna be do a flip. Go on then.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
It's wrong and you know it. I was just going to ask you what's wrong. No, I think you have the right to die if you're suffering in the belly.
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage.
So he's got
I'll
money
be
that
stuck
he needs.
slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever
no.
you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no!
Oh well, shit. That's not good.
I can't believe he went through with it. Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Was that my fault his suicide didn't break the golden rule? What does that mean? Okay, so this man can kill himself, and that doesn't end our game, which is good to know.
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the golden rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
What happens
I'll have
now?
to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Okay, so... That statue... Did he... I mean, it's giving me some real, like, I almost did that. This is locked. I mean, what happens if I kill myself? It did say jump, follow him. Will this kill me? I see water.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ah. So this is the way to get into this guy's village.
Honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So is this how... So we didn't have to pay the guy to get in yet. See if we can find anything. Note from Ulpius. Ulpius to his lost love. May God watch over you. Please know that I held as long as I could, but without you, my life is meaningless. Only hope we meet again. Note from Julia. Julia to captors Melis and Claudia. Curse you to the depths. By the time you read this, I'll already be dead. Julia. Death is preferable to another day in death bondage. You may well just pick out your livers. Whetstone. Nothing there. Let's speak with this man.
Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above?
Yes.
That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever.
Yes.
Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
What do you know about the disappearance?
Of course not. But as I always say, if Sentius can't protect his daughter, how can we trust him to protect this city?
That makes me think...
Look, if you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the cisterns beneath this villa. Domitius says he saw a body there some weeks back.
That's meant to be
Of
Hannibal.
course, just to be clear, I take no responsibility for what happens to you down there. You mean the children's fable exploited by Sentius to scare us all into doing what he wants? Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie? Nonsense! There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already.
Ooh. You're living the same day. Golden was broken each time. What would it take to prove it's real? Books, notes? Even I can't prove it. If I'm right, then accepting it will avert the disaster. If I'm wrong, then accepting it will make the city a better place. Isn't that a good thing?
Surely, you're not one of those people who believes everything you read. As if a lie could be transformed into the truth by the simple act of writing it down.
With time travel, yes.
What? Oh, I see what's happening here. Another poor, vulnerable soul taken in by Sentius'
He thinks I'm mad.
machinations. He won't get away with this much longer. I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best for the city's people, and that means giving them the freedom to do as they wish. True, but that is simply because you are mistaken. I'm afraid not. We're stuck down here together, for better or worse. we're all going to have to make the best of it.
What's your story?
I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the election later today.
What will you do if you win?
I'm glad you asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
How will you do
By
that?
declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Okay, so if he does win, then he makes the golden rule obsolete. People will break the rule, and then the world crumbles to dust. So I have until then to try to figure out what it is. I also can prevent it, or try to prevent him from winning by, I guess, changing the minds of the citizens in the town.
Still here?
Yes, I am still here, because I'm trying to learn. Well, that was a door, but it's not. Doors. There's nothing up here besides a locked door. And I cannot just straight up try to steal his shit. Where did he say the way out was? Ah, key. I'll take this. Does that mean I can open the upstairs rooms, though? I have to know.
Solemn promise to you, good citizens.
Yes, I can unlock the upstairs. Who are you?
I'm not supposed to be in here.
Who's Claudia?
Talk. What business could you possibly have with me?
Why are you locked in this
My
room?
marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much.
She's married to the Mauritius guy. What's your
I
story?
think a better question is, why am I being interrogated by a stranger who just barged into my villa? I have quite enough marriage trouble already, without having to explain to my husband why I'm receiving strange women in private.
We're a man. You know way out.
Preferably the way you came in, by which I mean, please leave. I think it's about to be broken if you don't hurry up and leave.
Ooh.
The dainty little thing from next door. Of course not. As much as I despise her father, I would never lay a finger on that poor, sweet child. Well, I've had quite enough of this.
Demetrius, come quickly. We're being robbed.
That's not good. Money? No. She summons the big dude. I don't know where he is, though. What's that? Creeper vines. These might be climbable. If anyone, they could support the weight. Huh. That's Demeter's order down there.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little Sturkus? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
Let's go look at this direction now. Okay, so the statue is trying to, like... Yeah, the statue seems to give us wisdom. This is apparently a marketplace. Empty marketplace. Oh?
Help! You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
Obtain a bow.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. Hear what? What?
I did hear a voice.
Time for this. I have
That
to
was
go.
weird.
Ugh.
Just randomly, like, no. So off she goes.
The shrine is collapsing.
She just... What? She has a loaf of bread. Circular loaf design pulled apart the wedges.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead. Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her.
That it did.
Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
Shrine may collapse at any moment. Ah! They got her. Who are you?
I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that empty shrine, and the next moment she is lying dead under a pile of rubble. The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me. I'm sorry, friend. It's not right for me to lay my burden upon you.
Who are you?
I can't believe she is dead.
Oh.
The gods are...
Okay, so he won't talk to us right now. That's not good.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Emperor.
He finds and kills this guy.
So,
That
if
would
you
be
tell me the
breaking the golden
truth,
rule.
I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
Well, that's a hell of a question.
Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave?
We can leave if we want. Lying would break the rule.
Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me.
It ain't a cult,
I saw
dude.
the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? A distinction without a difference.
I hate that he makes sense and that we're on the bad side of this.
Nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is.
There's no Quintius. I have no idea who or where he is. Can you tell me about Quintius? What's it going to take for you to let this go? Gold? Take all the gold you want. It wouldn't help you even if I knew where he was. Tell me about him.
Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur.
This is the
Emperor
Malchus guy.
says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process. All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not my concern. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
I know where he is.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
The last time I'm not a cultist, you said you wouldn't kill me if I told you the truth. By that, everyone here is dead. I have no idea what you're in for.
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is.
So we're allowed to lie.
Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
So he just committed assault. We've got to get back to Centrius. I don't actually know what happens if I die. If I properly die. And back we go. Okay, let's see. How do we change this?
Salve,
friend.
I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Ron, we've done this. Wait, do you speak English? I'm Ron, and I got lost. Wait, do you speak English?
What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine? Oh, is that right? Well, just make sure you don't get lost in any other sacred places you're not supposed to be. Can't have you disrespecting the gods by accident, can we now? But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So, let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. All right, friend. Suit yourself. Just don't do anything too reckless till you've spoken with Magistrate Sentius in his villa down there. See you around.
We need to talk. I don't know anything about you.
Again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind?
What is your story, yeah?
Well, it's a long one, and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it.
I have the time. Let's hear it.
I'm a farmer. Always have been.
Yeah?
I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and two little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, My father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. Sprinted so fast I almost threw up, but by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after.
Shame.
And things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young. It was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it.
That got intense.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome to be sold to the highest bidder.
So he was a
I
slave.
spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me, and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. I'd never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest was a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place and started my life over again.
Stranger dragged me out of the river.
That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his, one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes.
Sure, like, what's the difference here?
Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
You know way out.
As much as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field, isn't it? But Scintilla, Sentius's daughter, went missing a few weeks back. Could be she found a way out. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister, Sentia. But she'd never tell the likes of me.
I spoke with Sentia.
Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know? I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life. Alright, see you
Gallius
around.
for president. Yeah, so that tells us everything we know about Gallius. We should go look at his farm though. Do I have inventory? I have 261 money, a flashlight, blinds, notes, registry. I don't know if I've taken these notes or it doesn't seem like it. Oh, we do have the key though, which is good. Loaf of bread. This is apparently an item. Okay. Clearly something up there, but I cannot reach it. Oh no. Let's try to go back up. What's down here though? Chest. Oh, that's a lot of money. Straight up table. Okay, we know 2 places where we can get cash now. What we do with cash is still a question. We cannot get up there because we cannot get across those vines. So this leads us back to the church where the guy will commit suicide. I can't tell if the statues move every time I walk past them.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule.
Actually need to talk to Ubris. I'm feeling a bit on edge.
Alright, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
You will.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest?
I know
the animal,
know things. Please.
Yes, Seal's fate.
Sorry,
yeah.
but I just...
Please,
doesn't care.
help him.
We will help him, yes. Do you really think a suicide would break the law? We don't have to even ask that. I'll talk to him. Yeah. Is this what Senna would have wanted? Stop this right now.
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone.
You never believe me.
Well, if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over.
Maybe I can help.
It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact. And she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her.
So Lulia swallowed hemlock.
I can't do that. No. No. Time's up. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no!
Okay, so he kills himself.
I can't believe he went... That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted. I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess and I'd best pray...
Okay, so... Listens with their ears. Okay, so we need to find Lulia and stop her from eating hemlock. This is a note. Seek a bow, it says. I'm locking myself in. Don't try to follow me. Nothing good will come of it. Navia. Test fletched arrows. We have arrows now, but we still don't have a bow. Obviously, we can't get up there from this angle. Let's take a look around and see. I mean, I don't see any logical way up besides maybe like scaling the mountain. Oh, I see vines. I see vines. Okay, so in order to get there, we need to somehow get the vines. Fresh water, but where could the water be coming from? Graffiti, always remember they're watching. Toilets. The psychopomp deceives us. What? Yay, more money. I still don't know what I need to do with it. Who are you? Virgil.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible.
He looks a lot like me.
So you can
I take my glasses off. That's really weird.
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Tell me about this city's architecture, actually.
Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering, with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the Great Temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Water under the bridge. Figure out how to get into the upper cistern. Tell me about the history.
I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
What does that mean? Yes.
I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans, who first started building here, were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell. You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it.
We don't know who the
and of course
church
we can't
belongs
get
to.
inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know. Of course. You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway. Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans. Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me.
Well, he would be wrong.
Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you? Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
What are you implying?
Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
What does it mean?
It means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the Golden Rule. Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
There are cultists here?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that?
Apparently Christians are
If there
cultists
are any
now.
of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the Golden Rule. What?
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are.
I mean, it's the Christians. We still haven't even been to the merchants' quarters yet.
In the forum must have seen something, but if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused. Come back and let me know what you find.
Who are you? He's busy.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Now I can talk to him. Cool.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius.
What's your story?
I mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Oh no. Let's hear it.
Right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing through a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
You chose the girl, right?
The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. No, I dived in after it, of course. Aren't you paying attention? That was a bloody fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
He has a silver coin like us.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Do you know where?
I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out.
So far we know the aqueducts might be a way.
Some people here are a little shady for my liking. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet. Thank you, friend.
Any idea who's threatening
I
Virgil?
don't, I'm afraid. But I did overhear Fabia telling Georgius she saw something.
I don't know who
She was
either of
headed
those
to
two
the
are.
baths not long ago.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Aeolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us?
I'd like you to vote for Sentius.
Not going to happen.
Hmm.
Very well. Another time.
He refuses to vote in my option. Is this the broken temple? What if I just walk in there? Will I die? Shit.
Help! You have to do something. A man arrived.
Yes, yes. I'll see what I can do. Any idea what's threatening Virgil?
Are you serious? This is an emergency. Are you going to help or not? Are you daft or just callous? If you don't stop him, we're all going to die.
Maybe she won't run in. Oh no, she still runs in. Well. And she's dead.
It's collapsed.
And she's dead. Well, this time she buried herself so thoroughly I cannot actually try and get her breath. Shit, I needed to speak with him past too.
Oh God, she's dead. Did anyone see that? The whole train just collapsed.
Lark, the many shall suffer. Let's try this conversation again and see what happens.
Stop right there. You're right, I am. I must be getting a reputation. I suppose I might as well get right to it then. Do you have any last words?
By that, everyone is going to die. No idea, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
Okay, so he's going to try to kill everyone.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh. Rest in peace, that dude. I need to try and do this for the market now. Don't think I ever figured out what was in there, so we can explore that too. Here we go. Okay, we're back. Salva friend. Ron, we've had this conversation before.
I don't think.
Your name's Gallius. No worries. See you later. Let's go look in this room. I don't think we ever spoke with her. Auriella. Ah.
Oh, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. You're not like any Roman woman I've ever seen.
We're apparently a woman?
Your skin is so beautiful, and your clothes are so exotic.
Yes, we are.
What was that? Some kind of joke? If it was, it wasn't funny.
With incessant labour.
I take back what I said.
They have
Wow.
See, I don't find you so intriguing anymore.
Striking out
Let's just
immediately.
forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
What's your story?
Let it go. Nothing's going to happen between us. You know, normally I'd expect you to buy me a drink before asking if I want to get out of here.
Asking about an escape from the city. It's cute, but seriously, do you know a way out?
I guess that went right over your head. Never mind. As a matter of fact, I do know a way out.
She does?
I'm happy to tell you all about it, but this is valuable information we're talking about, and I don't just give it out like some cheap oracle. So, how badly do you want it? Is it worth, say, 1,000 denarii to you?
I don't have that kind of money.
Well, I can't tell you too much, or you'd figure it out for yourself. But I promise you, you'll never have to spend another hour in this city ever again. Simple. It's a one-way trip, and I'm not ready to go just yet. I like my life here. One day, maybe, but not now. I think of it this way. I have something of value, and I'm willing to share it for a price. That's not unethical. That's just good business. Now, do you want it or not? If I took your money without giving you what I promised, I'd be breaking the golden rule, wouldn't I?
That's a good point.
I have no interest in doing that. What's the matter?
Yeah, really can't afford it. Nope.
Well, perhaps you could take out a loan. I understand Malleolus has lent money to others, on occasion. I just try not to think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink.
Heard any interesting gossip?
For 10 denarii.
Yes, 10
Have you
denarii.
met Livia? She used to do my hair, until one day she just snapped. This place has that.
We need to
effect
find
on
her still.
people. Now, she just stands around, caked in filth, muttering nonsense to herself. It's a real shame. Now I have to do my own hair.
Figure out why Livia is acting strange.
I hear that if Malleolus is elected, he's gonna throw a small festival to celebrate, with entertainment and everything. Can't wait to find out what it is. There used
Try one
to
more
be
time.
a midwife here, Naevia, but this place drove her mad as a Maenad. Said she could hear the statues whispering to her. Can you imagine? Fortunately for us, she locked herself in the palace weeks ago and hasn't been seen since. Good riddance, I say. Whatever you like. All right, see ya.
Yeah, we did gather some information. You know, this is the slums, I guess? Prototype, someone has been working harder on a zipline, which we now have. A love poem by Galerius. Torture, the 7 labors of Hercules, often defeated and enslaved, yet I would suffer it all gladly, because each loss were in tragedy. Brought to me, rain in his room's flame, the bright warmth nourishes my soul. I know I can never touch you, any more than hold Vestas' flame. But to watch and love you from afar, bathing in your glow is enough. Okay, so I think it's Galerius is the one who's in love with the magistrate's daughter. This is Livia.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
I live in a real shithole. Beer vat. Dice tower. Shame. All these people live here.
Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns. Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives.
Fair enough. You know way out.
There is only a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions.
Basically to hell.
The bloodless shadows. This is their punishment. You think you wish to know, but you do not. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed.
I want to know.
I'll say no more. The newly arrived are ignorant of the road before them.
That's annoying. I really wanted answers from her. She has denied me. Olivia's chest. Key to the chest in the Shrine of Apollo. Cool. She's dead or not here anymore, so that's good for us. Olivia. What did it say? Denarius. What? Denarius. Was that like 1 coin? Precious. Denarius. Yeah, she had 1 coin. Very strange.
Dot.
Take a look this side.
I love.
I'm glad you took the time to look through it. How you doing, Madman? Yeah, I'm doing alright.
You stay away from my money.
Currently just playing through the Forgotten City. It's like one of those weird things that I'm having to focus a lot more than normal because it's incredibly story-based, and I'm trying to learn a lot. Key to Aurelia's chest. So we now have... Oh, I can steal it. Stealing it is bad, though. This is her chest. Okay, so, like, if I steal this, I can probably get something out of her chest, though. I mean, this is gonna prompt the end game. I've stolen.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Aurelia's about to... Aurelia boasts about scamming Lillian. Aurelia boasts about scamming them. Hopes Miranda wins the election so she can pay him a tribute in exchange for saying this. This villa escape. Okay, we have learned. Now I gotta run.
Dot.
Things with arrows are not happy with me. It so far has been really interesting. It's kind of like a... Oh shit. It's kind of like a time loop game. So it seems like the objective is you want to return to your time, and you're trapped in like ancient Roman times. Okay, he killed himself. Great. And now we go through. Oh, so yeah, now we go back in time to the start of this loop. Apparently, if anyone breaks like sins within this community, then the statues all come alive and start turning people into gold. So me stealing something from the chest prompted that the game to end, essentially.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius.
We've heard it all before. I'm Ron, we've had this conversation.
Oh.
No problem, see you later. Like, currently I'm just exploring, trying to learn stuff. But yeah, how you been, man? I feel like it's been a while. Oh, I'm finally getting back into streaming. I've changed up the schedule a little bit so that I will be doing it on Thursdays and Fridays now.
Ixion turns.
And I learn anything new from that.
Just as the ocean but it does.
Crowd comes? No, nothing
The
new.
newly arrived.
What if I speak with...
Don't you
Wait,
just love
I have enough
springtime?
money now, I think. I should be able to buy the exit from this girl.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. You're not like any Roman woman I've ever seen.
It still weirds me out that I'm apparently a
You're
woman.
So beautiful, and your clothes are so exotic.
Dot.
Doing great. This is the first time you've watched your stream since last year. Yeah, well, this is probably the third stream I've had this year. I had, I wasn't even in the country or in the UK until basically like the end of January. So I only started streaming in last week.
Ugh, coming on a bit strong, don't you think? I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find.
I don't think anything I can say to this lady is going to convince her to like me.
So we can at least do business.
Do you know way out of
You
here?
know,
Yes.
no?
Yes, that's cute. Let's hear it.
As a match, I'm
You will
happy
make
to
me pay
confirm.
for it? Yeah.
How-
1,000 money for it. Not interested, no, it's a scam. Tell me more. Ah, she scammed the other two is what happened.
Ha! It's hardly my fault if people misunderstand the terms of a deal. I mean, it does say, let the buyer beware, right outside my tavern.
Yeah, so she
Alright,
didn't know of a way
see ya.
out. It was just a scam that she tricked two people with. All the time you've watched, you've never had any sound alerts on sound alerts. I don't actually know if that's accurate or not, because I can see that they're supposed to be working. I'm trying to figure out what would actually trigger one right now. Give me a second. Like, for example, if I went and like tested a sound alert like right now, you can see that they do still work. So they should be working. Obviously just haven't had a chance to check. Like any of the normal ones should still be happening right now. So this is a Colosseum of some kind? What does that say? Old Scroll. The author makes the case against the existence of the Golden Rule. There's a bunch of these like butterfly golden vines, which I'm assuming is something I will discover how to use later on. Loads of bread. Still fresh. I can't take bread because I would be stealing. Wooden carving. Symbol of fish. Religious in nature, so this might be the cult that I've been hearing about. There's a locked door here. Oh. You mean as in like every time it pops up? Because as far as I'm aware, like it'll say that it's broken every time, but it actually should still be working. Man was fleeing. Lots of people were fleeing into the caves. Gold chest, money, a bottle of wine. The last bottle of wine in the city. Is drinking illegal? I guess drinking alcohol would be considered a sin? What is this place? The bloodless shadow wander without flesh or bone. Note from Livia, cryptic, almost poetic rambling from Livia. The place is called Accursed. Here Sitius offer his inn is to be torn, stretched out over 9 fields. You cannot catch the drop of water. You the tree grasp eludes you. You Sisyphus attack, pursue the stone that always returns. Juxin returns, follows himself and flees. 49 lives. You dare to plot the destruction of their cousins, their husbands fetch again. Doesn't labor the water they have lost. To me, that was just incessant rambling. So Olivia was camping out somewhere here. I have no idea where she is or where she may have gone. Also, the statues apparently whisper to me. There appears to have been a fight happening here. See arrows in there. Morphia of arrows. Fletched arrows. Interesting. Yeah, I'm stuck. There we go, freedom. Every time you're about to type something, you triple check to see if... I do appreciate that you are at least taking the time to have gone through the rule set. I know that Eva will appreciate it very much so. That was the reason we've had like a change of the rules as well, is we've been trying to make the stream a little bit more, what's the word for it? A little bit better just in terms of its quality from that perspective, or have people saying a little bit less, like fewer things that may be offensive. Just because I've been made aware that it's been a thing that's been happening. If the status whisper doesn't, that imply that they aren't actually dead. I feel like they're essentially... oh, interesting. I was going to say... Yeah, I mean, they are moving. That's creepy. That is very creepy. May the gods be kinder to you than they were to us, stranger. I mean, yeah, they're definitely alive. The thing is, if I break a rule, then they come alive and try and kill me. I've never actually seen so far what happens if they actually do, like, succeed. Because every time I've managed to, like, get back to the starting point, which continues the loop. I now have 2 bottles of wine. I'm curious as to what I can do with bottles of wine. Ah, a chest. More money. I don't think I've ever explored this farm area, so let's take a look around. Oh, there's a duck. What are those? Goose eggs. Laid by the city's goose. We have goose eggs in our inventory now. Also, butterflies here, which is meant to indicate something is doable there, but I don't know what it is.
Ah, it's you again. Hope you now.
What's on my mind? Okay, nothing I can say to him. I can see a pathway down there. I don't know where that comes to or leads from. Surprisingly, a combination of the 3. It's like, I don't want to say it's a horror game by any means, because it really isn't. But yeah, it is very, as you say, it is incredibly story-based, for sure. And yes, there is a giant mystery. Everyone seems to have, like, some form of a story to them, which is what you're trying to figure out, because apparently someone, the whole reason you're being sent back in time is that someone is about to break the rule in this existence, and you need to figure out who it is to stop them. Obviously, you can just break the rule yourself, and then that triggers what happens anyway. Yeah, I can see a lift from there. Maybe I can zip line across. Don't know where that goes. Well, that didn't kill me. Okay, so this takes us this way. I did actually take damage, though. Again, I'm not 100% sure what happens if I die. Yeah, they do give you quests, though. Dying Grasp. Find out what's distressing Lucretia. Vanishing Act, find out what happens. Done a lot of the optional things. We do have leads. Intruder. There's a guy with a bow who just straight up kills me. Obtain a bow. Let's see. Golden rule. Yeah, figure out who's most likely to break the rule and inform the Sentius. Find out what's distressing Lucretia. So let's do that. That should put a marker on our screen, I think. If we get close enough. Although there should still be... The only place I haven't been, I think, is now a medical center? I believe exists somewhere. Who are you? I've never met this bone. Never seen him in my life.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
What's your story, Rufius?
Talk long. Got to stay sharp, but... family's from Seleucia on Tigris. Babylon province. I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th. The one they call Ironclads.
How did you end up here?
Same way as everyone else.
Also, Madman, I'm curious. Do you know about how the little the Pokemon work? Because I don't feel like I've seen you around long enough to explain that. Like, you might actually have like a lot of channel points that you could use to get yourself like a good avatar.
Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious? Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now. If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either.
What is his problem? What are you dealing with?
In Troite ipsum commensura. If we have to.
It is Bulbasaur versus Raichu.
If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
I think you're gonna win this one. You picked up a shit ton of health somewhere.
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
Oh, I might take it away if I get lucky with the health drops.
I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong, while we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned. I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
A long-ass fight.
Of course I am.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us?
Congrats, your Bulbasaur did win. So, for example, give me a second, I'll try and see if I can find the link for it very quickly. So if I go, yeah, just scroll up slightly. Just gonna repost this to the chat. So, yeah, congrats. So, yeah, so here's the, oh, well, it posted immediately like twice now. But basically, if you click on that link, it'll take you to like a page where it'll show you like a list of all the different avatars for generations. Like, I think we've got the first 4 generations of Pokemon in there, and I've tied them to channel points. So, like, as you progressively watch the stream, you'll accumulate more and more gold that you can then use to buy different avatars. And I've set it up in such a way that you also can, like, if you have the actual channel points, you should be able to redeem those for, I think, like 1,000 channel points can be turned into 100 gold, which gets you at least like 1 tier up of something. And the way it works is each Gen 1 Pokemon, like, up the scale goes like a Bulbasaur would cost nothing, then an Ivysaur would cost 100 coins, then a Venusaur would cost 200, then I think it's a Squirtle is the third one up. That would cost like 300, 400, 500 as you... So you can understand it's like a tiers and it goes up. We've also implemented ways that it's like... I think subscribers get 3 times more of the avatar gold as well. For the channel, so they can get things faster. They also have access to the Gen 2 Pokemon. The Gen 3 Pokemon are specifically for a competition that I do a giveaway once a month. Just for anyone who is a subscriber or a VIP. So yeah, there's that added benefit too. And the Gen 4 Pokemon are for any 2.5 pound donation. I then send that directly to the charity which we have listed below, which you can also make direct donations to as well, which is the East London SPCA. So basically I just give people a random Gen 4 Pokemon for any 2.5 pound donation that they make to charity. Yeah, I know. Charizard's only 500, so a lot of people have gone straight for Charizard. It's a very common one. But it's nice to see a lot of variety. But I think it's also kind of fair. Like, there are some that are, like, really difficult to get to. Like, if you want a Magikarp, it'll cost you, like, 14,000 gold or something like that. So it's kind of like incentivizes people to watch. Like the people who watch the longest obviously get access to be able to buy those high ones up. Yeah, there we go.
Whatever.
So I need to try to convince him to vote for the other guy.
A fellow traveler from a faraway land.
I can finally speak with this guy.
I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching. And such a curious design.
Basically, yeah. It does mean that, like, I think the most expensive one you could ever get would be, I think, Mew, which would be like 15,000.
From which exotic part of the world do you hail?
But that at least makes kind of sense, because they put the legendaries right at the end for most gens.
Is this a riddle, or perhaps you mean to say you feel like you are ahead of your time? I feel the same way. Another reason for us to stick together. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
I do require information. What is your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
Why set up a tailor shop here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Yes, like there's 20 people here. I don't feel like tailoring is going to be very valuable.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Suppose, I guess.
And there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
That is a terrible idea. How did you get here?
Question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
So memory lapses, everyone by the river.
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary...
And everyone's apparently from Rome in some way.
Droning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success.
These are the three things that seem to link these people together.
By the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
Floated down the Tiber.
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Your friend just told you to buy a Jigglypuff as your Pokemon when you can. Should you listen to them? Jigglypuff is actually really cool. I can actually show you... give me a second. Just gonna go to the actual thing. I can actually show you any of the Pokemon if you want to see them beforehand, just so you can get an idea. So like, Jigglypuff. This is what a Jigglypuff would look like. Yeah, we have Jigglypuff. Obviously all of the other ones are there. Seaking as well, all the fish. Chansey as well. I've actually never seen a Chansey. Chansey's actually really cool. But yeah, we have, I think, all of them. Yeah. Obviously, this is the most expensive one, I think, of all. So, you will very likely never see this one, or at least for a good, I'd say probably another like 6 to 7 to 8 months before I think anyone will get that. Snorlax, Mewtwo. Yeah. But my personal one is the Raichu. There's only 2 that you can't actually get, like via any means, which are Raichu, because it's my personal one. Yeah, the 2 that you can't get is a Raichu, because it's my personal one, and a Pikachu, because the Pikachu is reserved only for mods, so that would go to Eva. Oh, also you were saying with the Jigglypuff, there is an Igglypuff. Yeah, there is an Igglybuff, sorry, which is I think the baby form of Jigglypuff. There we go, it's even smaller. I just thought I'd show you that one, because it's also really cute. Back to Raichu for me. There we go.
Anything you like.
I think that may even be the smallest one.
Not so loud. What are you playing at? Have you not been told about the last attempt?
No, there was a last attempt.
Oh, then I
Stop.
suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
I'm curious as to what might actually be the smallest one, now that you mention it. I mean, I've seen some of them like Weedle and like Caterpie, and I think they're slightly bigger too. But yeah, that one was absolutely tiny. Go on, tell me. I want to hear about this. How did people try escape?
Many of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Gather enough wood. I could do that.
I admire your enthusiasm, my friend, but please allow me to explain why this is inadvisable. There was an attempt, made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that
Just waiting for him to stop speaking.
is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Useful, so trying to escape will anger the gods. But yeah, I was gonna say, my favorite is actually a Charizard, as you mentioned earlier. I grew up with that kind of mindset when I was a kid. Just Raichu seems appropriate. Just because the Pikachu and Raichu is like a combination. Because Pikachu's always really represented Eva in my eyes. So it's kind of one of those things that it's like a pairing, I guess.
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
And you, what's your favorite Pokemon? Or was it already the Charizard?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up.
Charizard is a classic. Rate that. Your personal favorite is Gengar. Oh! Gengar is definitely one of my favorites too, now that you mention it.
They have no worshippers left.
I forgot about that.
So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case.
Now that you mention it, yeah, no, I feel like you're actually right. Gengar would probably be my favorite as well. Just because if I remember correctly, Gengar is literally, I think, the first Pokemon I actually ever saw. Like, if you ever watched, like, Pokemon from the very start, like, the very first episode, Gengar is literally the first Pokemon I think you ever see that he is battling a Nidoran, not a Nidoran, a Nidorino, I think. In, like, a Colosseum. And I was just like, damn, that's cool. So that kind of got me hooked on the way. So yeah, I'll agree with you. I think, like, if I had to pick, like a set of 6 Pokemon to be, like, my favorites from the first gen at least, would have to be Charizard, Gengar, a Blastoise, a Vileplume, surprisingly. I think something like a Scyther and a Kabutops. I think those were all some of my personal favorites.
If we are to survive, I say
God.
we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
I can't remember what Gen Greninja is from, but I think it may have come before any of the stuff that I got to see too much of.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act. Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
This man is dressing up corpses.
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus.
Seems like everyone's voting for this Malone guy.
Another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way. Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
I want to change his mind on who to vote for. Greninja was in Pokemon X and Y. I think it might be Gen 6. That would make sense, because I think my knowledge of Pokemon really dies out after Gen 4. I don't know very much about Gen 5 going forward from there.
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Because I got to play... Emerald was the first game that I played, and I played that for like 300-ish hours. I had Diamond... Yeah, I had Pokemon Diamond, which was Gen 4. And then, yeah, so after that, then my knowledge dies a bit. I need to speak with Fabia.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Okay, so Fabia's the lady who's going to commit suicide. Well, not suicide, she's going to die the second I find her. Also, I need to speak with this lady. Because I figured out something earlier.
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
Oh, God.
As always, priestess.
Any news about Centilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid.
3 people are
But
missing.
we do have a newcomer. Strangely dressed woman. Pretty, though.
A traveller from a faraway land, then?
Seems that way.
Then let's make sure she feels welcome, shall we?
Of course, priestess.
Okay, so we learned something.
Face, Ave, and
No, not a new face. I've been asking people about how they wound up here, trying to find a pattern.
interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me,
Dot.
but you've come to the right person. Did you find a pattern then? What have you noticed?
You played Red and Blue, then played X and Y, and then played Ruby and Sapphire because they were remakes, and you bought Pokemon Sun but never finished it. Ah, you've gotten to play quite a few more than I have. I just remember I was very upset with Emerald because you got Groudon and you had Kygor, like the water one and the fire one, and I killed one of those legendaries by accident without realizing that it was like a one-time encounter, so I never got to catch it, and I was so sad. Red and Blue, obviously the originals. X and Y, I don't know much about them. Ruby and Sapphire, yeah, obviously the remakes. Sun, never finished, huh? Some people mentioned a coin, mentioned river, memory lapses. Some people mentioned an encounter with a stranger. Memory lapses.
That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else?
They mentioned a river.
Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
Coin?
Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we?
Dot.
It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here?
That I did.
And did you happen to catch her name?
I did ask, yes.
I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood?
X and Y was pretty scuffed in terms of the story. What was the actual story for X and Y then? I'm just curious.
Because I've seen her before.
Oh?
There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Not safe in there. An assassin just arrived.
What? How could you know that? And why are you talking to me instead of doing something about it?
What am I supposed to do about it?
Go and stop him, and come back to me once we're no longer in danger.
Aw. She's like, go figure out how to finish. Aw. I gotta try give me a bow. I need a bow, and all I've got is wine, loaves of bread. Dying gasp, bleeds, find out what's distressing Lucretia. Okay, let's see, that'll put a marker on. Oh, so I haven't been in here for any. This is the Shrine of Apollo. Medical tools. Pestle. Shame. Statue of Apollo.
Dot.
I didn't know that Apollo was the god of disease. Huh. This is Lucretia, and this is just a lady. You haven't played it in a long time, so you may be wrong, but you remember the leader of evil is trying to destroy the world. So that sounds like the story for most of them.
But that Kulas Kubulates Decius won't give it to me.
Okay, so we need to find this thing. Try to persuade Decius to hand over the set.
It's too late. She just slipped away. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall, but there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
That's pretty funny, actually. I will say I've seen so many people playing the Pokemon like Legends of Arceus game. It looks like such a step up from some of the other Pokemon games. Like, I really am tempted to try and... Like, I want to play that badly. It looks really good. Like, they've gone... It's one of those things, like, it'll be such a jump, like, generationally, since I've played only, like, Emerald Blast. So it would be like, oh shit, the world is now in 3D. Oh crap, you can now throw Pokeballs at things, and, like, Pokemon are, like, out in the wild. It's like, it sounds crazy. Like, just the design of it.
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day, or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way...
You wish you had a Switch, wanted to play the new Diamond and Pearl. I know, I'm also in the same boat where it's like, I really wish I had a Switch.
From marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
She is angry.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Can we talk about anything else?
Feeling alright?
What's your story?
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since.
I feel like Nevi is one of the 3 people that decided to try and leave the first time around.
And miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
Oof, harsh words.
My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked, and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came.
Yeah, so everyone seemed to be fleeing from Rome.
Our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke. and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here. It's all right. Say what you will about this place.
One of the few things I've learned right now is I need to try and acquire a bow and stop that assassin. Once I've stopped him, the lady will show me something important.
Try to be discreet about it.
I just need to figure out how to get a bow. We also know that if we get herb from the one guy, we can stop this lady from dying by going back in time.
Oh, this shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense. Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good too, until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying, but I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain.
I feel like I get that a lot.
I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out, and you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
Yeah, there is a lot of dialogue, but I mean that's kind of part of it is for a mystery to be. You have to discern a mystery, and for that you have to unravel a lot of threads. And yeah, from what I can see, when I started the game, they mentioned that there is about 20 people in this village. So you immediately be like, okay, that means there are 20 backstories that I need to hear before I can actually start figuring stuff out. You're the type of guy to try to skip every dialogue and cutscene and pray you can find your way around. I don't think that would work in this, unfortunately, but that's why I'm trying to pay attention so that I can actually figure out as I go. But like I said, because you only really have to go through their backstories once each, it's like you listen to 20 stories, and then I guess you try and interweave what's happening, and then figure it out from there. I have the key to all chests, perhaps you can find a way, find what you need in there.
Really? That would be wonderful. Thank you. Let me know how you go.
So let's see. I need to speak with this guy and ask him for her.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff. Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I've met him in his eyes. I need some silphium.
Certainly. All I ask is
1,000 denarii. How would I come up with 1,000 denarii? Your price is price gouging over life-saving medicine. What's wrong with you? Fine. Here's 1,000.
Oh,
sure.
You have.
There we go. Bottle of silphium resin, extremely valuable ancient Roman remedy for various effects. Take.
Pleasure doing business.
That's
Very
it.
well.
I'll be going now. So now, what we do is now you see this is where we actually do get to actually do stuff now. Because the lady I want to save is already dead, which means I need to break the rules so I can go back in time. And I only know one place where I can actually break the rules fairly easily. Which is there is a chest in this area here with a lot of money.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
We're gonna come in here, we're gonna steal the money. Oh, only 45? What? It got reduced, it was like 2 grand previously. Lol.
The
money now.
many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Now that we've got that, need to wait for that guy to get near us. Wait, where am I? Yeah, here we are. Because he has to sacrifice himself in order to... Oh shit. And he's dead. Thus opening the portal and letting me through. Cool, so now that we've got the bottle, we run straight to that lady and try and give her the healing juices. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, is that? But.
Oh god, your laws, don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so now we gotta get there fast.
The 49 melodies fetch again.
Should be up this way.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Okay, we are here.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the
Right, she has been
resin of a
poisoned.
plant called Sylphium, but that Culus cumulatus decius won't give it to me.
I was gonna say that's the only thing that they just represent people, so they're just avatars. So there isn't really type advantage, but people like to believe that certain Pokemon will give you better luck just based on the fact that they're different sizes. So there might be like size advantages, or like just in terms of how animations work. So like some Pokemon, like when they attack, the animation that it uses might be longer than others, which means a Pokemon with a faster animation will attack more frequently. So there is weirdly like advantages to certain like avatars, let's put it that way. But obviously the Pokemon themselves are just sprites, so there won't actually be like actual advantages. So here is the resin.
What? Quick, give it here.
Stop.
Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you.
I know, right? It is a bit sad. I don't have the programming knowledge to be able to implement that.
Hopefully in a moment she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
Maybe a little. I'm a time traveler. Honestly, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I heard she got sick early and went to find medicine.
But how could you know she needed this exact medicine? And how did you even get it? I guess it doesn't matter.
Really
You
doesn't.
just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you.
I have so
herself.
many questions for this lady.
And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering
She
about
tried to
that
kill
snake's
herself.
cruel black eyes. In
Talking
the
about
meantime,
Malachite.
I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need.
Do you know way out of here?
I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just
Shame.
don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine. A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands.
Keep hearing the statues whispering.
Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There
I'm
was
crazy.
one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia. and,
Alright.
She went a little
Give me a second.
mad.
I'll set it to another battle royale. There we go.
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, until she suddenly lost all. This changes the last, and then
This
she's
is
been.
cool.
But I
Cool,
really
the battle
wish I
royale
could
is
reach
happening.
her, because that's the only hope I have of one of my. He's become so irritable. I just know. Really? That would be wonderful.
Figure out the
Thank
treatment
you.
for
Let me know
rheumatism.
how you go.
Oh, she's up. Julia, yes.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying
She
to
tried to
help
kill
me,
herself.
I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Dot.
You have the Pokemon battle theme in your head now. It's a pretty good one.
Dot.
Also, I have one. Rest in peace to your Bulbasaur.
As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it.
Dot.
Please, no more questions.
You were very close here.
The Golden Rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and
Dot.
Claudia are far
About half a
crueler.
pixel. It is very close. Malleus and Claudia.
Please, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
Can't help unless you tell me what happened. Or let's talk about something else.
Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you?
I hope you're ready for another long line of dialogue, because here we go.
It's a long saga.
Everyone seems to like preemptively start their story by saying is like, oh, this is going to be a long story. You sure you want to hear it? Is there a shorter version?
Look, if you don't have time to listen to me, don't let me keep you.
Okay, fine. I'm listening. Long version.
I'd been here about a week when it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price.
Dot.
1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did.
Why would he lend you so much money? Thinking you'd be out of here before you even had a chance to pay back the loan?
I had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was?
Hemlock.
You figured it out already. I wish I'd been so astute. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning.
Exclamation jump is actually one, yeah. Like, you can actually move your Pokemon left and right. And jump, and you can also make them dance, so exclamation dance is also one. So there's a few little ones like that.
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the Golden Rule. And I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths, so he locked me in his villa.
There we go, I can see your Bulbasaur dancing.
I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked day in, day out. His wife Claudia was just as bad. She sent me to work on an endless stream of futile,
Shame this lady's at her shit life.
demeaning tasks.
I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor
Stop.
clean for hours. Only for her to pour slop on it.
Yeah,
and
all of the
hiss,
Pokemon do dances.
"You
I think
Mr.
they also
Spot."
do a mass dance
Those
if
two
someone
take
cheers like a
everything
bit.
from me.
So like, if one day you see like a whole bunch of Pokemon on the stream at one point, like a single bit will make every single Pokemon
My
dance.
hemlock.
So you poisoned yourself.
I just wanted it to be over. But it's...
Sorry to hear that. You're not exactly innocent in all this.
I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human...
What happened? So what'll happen to you now?
When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course. I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Huh. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
I have a bit. How much would it cost to buy your freedom? Why is she talking again? Only bit I heard was she poisoned herself. We're still having this conversation. She'd basically been like, she wanted to leave. She tried to buy like a solution from someone who scammed her, and she basically got shit tons of debt. So she tried to kill herself. So we're gonna see if we can buy her freedom.
But it doesn't matter. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Mali, he's probably already thrown himself. If so, I'd never be able...
Perhaps I can
I
help.
doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so
I'll get right on it. Okay, so we're gonna.
Apollo, keep you safe.
We need to get up there before that guy throws himself off of the cliff. Let's see. Now this raises an interesting question. Do I actually have enough time to get there before he jumps? Because that'll be an interesting gameplay situation if saving her, I can't save him, or vice versa. But I did just save her. Okay, we're here.
Salve, friend.
Skip,
Welcome.
skip. I'm actually here to talk to the other guy.
All right. Well, it was lovely to meet you.
It was nice meeting
I
you
look
too.
forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it
Yep.
ends.
Oh no. No.
Also, I'm probably going to call the stream very, very soon. We're
Orpheus,
at the
what are you
3-hour
doing?
mark.
Get back from there.
That's the...
Skip, skip, skip,
I know,
skip,
please.
skip.
I'm sorry.
Please, help him.
Alright, I'll talk to him, yeah. Stop this right now, then go ahead.
You know about... Well, you don't understand.
Maybe I can help
Still,
solve this.
If I backed out now,
I've already saved Julie's life, and I'd like to help you too. Lucretia was able to get to Cephalene in time to save her life. She's going to be fine.
Oh, really? That changes things a little.
It really
But we're
does.
still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
I need 2 grand now. Wait, why do you need 2,000 there? Actually, I do.
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then.
First time I've seen his face. No, you'd be free.
Do that for us. A couple of complete strangers.
Dot.
It
course I
seems
would.
today we're both blessed.
I really wanted to, but I've seen him kill himself like 2 to 3 times already.
This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
He's very thin. Here's your money. There goes all my
I'll go
cash.
and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
You tell me about your relationship with Scintilla, yes.
Ah. And there it is.
Price of information.
Alright. Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Alright. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the... and that's when I saw her. I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin, and then she looked up and saw me, and from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, and so for weeks on end, each night we'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Scintilla was the one thing that made my life bearable.
Is it possible she escaped? I think you're hiding something.
All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me.
So she's here still,
She'd never have taken her own life. And there's no way anybody could have killed her under the Golden Rule. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can somebody abducted her. I have no idea how, or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened?
So abduction is possible?
My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it.
You're getting real tired, so you're gonna head out. Hope you had a good day stream. Yeah, no worries, dude.
But I
should be live again tomorrow.
Get in there somehow. It would shed light on a great many
Yeah, cheers,
things.
dude. Great try that. There's no sign of Scintilla in there.
Oh, I see. That was the only idea I had. I'll give it some more thought. Come and find me a little later. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
Cool, well, we have saved him. Cool, well, I'm gonna call it there then for now. We're gonna save. Cool.